in boxing.
Yeah.
But Tank's that dude, though.
Yeah.
Level above everybody else. His thing very seriously.
Yeah.
You know, unlike a lot of other boxers, you know, so when it came down to it, it's like each and every fight, he was 100% prepared, you know, to go out there and give it his best effort with knowing that he's competing at the highest level, and everybody we put in front of him, he would beat him.
Tank, he's a very good fighter. A lot of respect for him, what he's done in the ring. Got a good team around him, but he can't. Tank.
Leonard Ellerbe showed strong support for Gervonta Davis over Shakur Stevenson, saying Tank's mentality, determination, and ability to end a fight with one punch give him the edge in a potential matchup.
Just like he was a winner. Like he went out there and he worked his ass off. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't put, and you have a number of great fighters out there, and this is no slight on everybody else, but he just had a different kind of mindset. He was cut differently. He was cut like he never made a dime. You know what I mean? So I think that's what kind of separated him.
Yeah.
Where he took his career very, very seriously. Not saying everybody else doesn't, but he was just different, had a different kind of mindset.
Leonard also pointed out that Shakur Stevenson is still undefeated and continues to perform at a high level, but explained that the business side of boxing works differently. He said Gervonta Davis consistently brings excitement every time he steps into the ring and believes a fight between the two stars will eventually happen.
I'm gonna get into those details. I mean, obviously, he's won every fight that he's had in the ring, but the business is always different. You know, we all know what Tank brings to the table. Tank, every time he comes out, you get this. You know, so he's gonna keep on doing what he's doing. Inevitably, those two will meet in the ring.
Leonard also praised Shakur Stevenson as a talented and athletic boxer with great speed, strong punching ability, and smooth movement in the ring. He said Stevenson is one of the top fighters in the division, which is why the potential matchup catches so much attention.
He's a very good fighter. He's got good skill, very athletic, good speed, solid power. And again, he's slick. He's a slick fighter. And I like the matchup because, one, he's one of the top guys in the division.
Meanwhile, Eddie Hearn said a fight between Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson could become one of the biggest matchups in boxing. He praised Davis as a special talent and said it would take a fighter with Stevenson's skill level to truly challenge him, adding that it's a fight he would really like to see.
Against Shakur is one of the biggest fights in the sport. I think Tank is so exceptional, it's going to take someone as good as Shakur to give him a real fight. And I love that.
In a discussion with Ariel Helwani, Shakur Stevenson said he wants to take part in the biggest fights in boxing, even if he doesn't clearly define what those are. He talked about facing top-level opponents and hinted that fighters like Gervonta Davis are being mentioned when people discuss possible future big matchups.
Love to make the biggest fight in boxing happen.
The biggest fight in boxing happen, okay. I guess whatever our interpretation of that would give us the answer, but I don't know what you consider the biggest fight in boxing.
It ain't about what I consider the biggest fight in boxing. It's what y'all consider the biggest fight in boxing. So y'all know what that means.
Is it Tank Davis?
Like I said, I would like to make the biggest fight in boxing happen.
Holy smokes. That would be something. The bottom line is you have a lot of great options right now. Do you agree?
Yes.
There's a lot of big names that we've just discussed, and any one of those would be pretty damn big.
Yeah, like I said, I'm down with whatever, whatever makes sense. But once again, I would love to make the biggest and best fights happen. I would love to make the most competitive fights happen. And I would love to show the world why I am the best fighter in the sport.
On the other side, Gervonta Davis warned that once he gets an opponent in his range, the fight can end very fast. He explained that he can change pace at any moment, slowly break fighters down, and then finish the bout suddenly with a decisive ending.
If I get him where I need him to be, he's going to sleep for sure. Soften him up.
Shakur Stevenson acknowledged that Gervonta Davis is a major star at the top of boxing, which gives him the ability to be selective with his opponents. He also said that if Davis truly shows interest in the fight, then the matchup can be made any time as long as both camps agree.
Biggest star in the world, one of the biggest stars in the world. So with him being at that top spot, he can pick and choose who he wants to fight. If he want to fight this guy, he can fight this guy. So, and my brain is like, just say you want to fight and we can make it happen at any given time.
However, Andre Rozier praised Shakur Stevenson for his elite technical boxing skills, but still gave a slight advantage to Gervonta Davis because of his knockout power. He described the matchup as a classic boxer versus puncher battle, where Stevenson could control and outbox large parts of the fight, but Davis would only need one clean opening to completely change the outcome. Rozier called it a very close fight on paper, where discipline, timing, and one key moment could decide everything.
Shakur is a talented fighter. Tank, that's like my ride and die. I like guys that get people in trouble and knock them out. So I'm always riding with Tank. It will be a spectacular bout. I mean, you have the age-old puncher versus boxer at its best. Now, if Tank allows Shakur to get ahead too far, then he might not be able to catch up to him. On the flip side of that, if Tank gets in there and Shakur makes a mistake, it only takes one for the lights to be out. So I'm waiting to see it. I want to see it, and I'm looking forward to it. It's another 50-50, but you know, I'm Tank all the way. So I got to ride or die with who I ride or die with, even though I love them.
Gary Russell Jr. shared his opinion on Gervonta Davis, saying he doesn't see him as a traditional pure technical boxer. Instead, he described Davis more as an explosive power-first fighter who relies on his strength to control fights, while still admitting that he has enough skill to box and make adjustments when required.
Really isn't like a boxer for real. He's more of a, I don't know what to call him. He's just a power puncher to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's really like a boxer, you know, but he can box. He has the ability to do so.
Gary Russell Jr. added that Gervonta Davis would likely settle into the fight early, establish his rhythm, and use the opening rounds to study his opponent before gradually taking control and dictating the pace of the bout.
He'll make that fight easy. He'll win, get his feet back up under him, and it'll give him the opportunity to see what the playing field is really.
Eddie Hearn said that Shakur Stevenson would need to depend on his ring IQ and strong defensive skills if he faces Gervonta Davis, using smart and controlled boxing to stay in control of the fight. However, he also warned that Davis's explosive punching power means he is always dangerous, and one clean shot could completely change the outcome at any moment.
I don't know how good the fight will be, but I think Shakur is, again, like pound for pound, IQ-wise, I think he's even up there with a Terrence and those kind of guys, you know. I think the difference with Boots is he's got the defensive mastercraft, and he also has the aggressive power to turn your lights out, and I think that's quite different. Do you know what I mean? Like Shakur, I say defensive. I think that's a bit harsh on Shakur, but he's not a huge puncher, but defensively and skill-wise, he's right up there.
He's a real technical fighter.
Keyshawn Davis agreed with Eddie Hearn, favoring Shakur Stevenson in the matchup because of his strong technical skills and excellent defensive control. He expects a close, tactical fight, but believes Stevenson would narrowly win on points in a competitive decision.
I think Shakur will win. I think Shakur got better skill, and of course he's just better defensively. I'm always going with the better skill, the better defensive fighter. Tank's skill is phenomenal, but I just feel like he's offense first. I feel like he's offense first, or I feel like Tank is the type of fighter where he'll either be offensive first, but he's very, 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 very patient, and then just try to catch you slipping. You know what I'm saying? And certain fighters, it's just smart, So I just think, Shakur will win that fight. It will be a hell of a fight, a hard fight, and it's definitely going to be a split decision. But I got Shakur.
Fennon sees a possible fight with Gervonta Davis as an important test for Shakur Stevenson, calling it a true proving ground for him. He pointed out that Davis has already faced elite-level opponents who later went on to become world champions, and said this matchup would give Stevenson a major chance to measure himself against the very best in the division.
Is a huge fight for Shakur Stevenson, and for people to act like the biggest fight in boxing is with somebody like Devin Haney or Ryan Garcia is absolutely ridiculous. Now, why do we know that Gervonta Davis is such a big fight? Because Gervonta Davis has now beaten, I do believe, 5 or 6, I think it's 6 people that he beat went on to win world championships, including Ryan Garcia, who people are saying Shakur Stevenson should fight next.
On the other side, Jamal Herring offered a different opinion, saying that Shakur Stevenson has already accomplished enough in his career to be mentioned in the same conversation as Gervonta Davis. He pointed out that Stevenson's record and strong performances clearly put him at that same elite level of discussion.
Stevenson ain't do nothing. That's what I'm just speaking as just a fan. You know what I mean? Like Shakur, the three-time, 3-divisional world champion, unified world champion. So, he's done something, you know what I mean? And he's done something enough to where if the people are bringing him up to you, it's obviously because people want to see the fight. It's not like they bringing up, a nobody. It's like, or somebody coming up in the rankings. And it's like, what have they done? But it's like, this is somebody, y'all in the same weight class. Y'all both hold, one of the major 4 world titles.
Other analysts believe that even Shakur Stevenson's strong defensive style may not be enough to completely shut down the danger from Gervonta Davis. They point to Davis's patient, steady pressure and accurate punching, saying he is very good at taking advantage of small mistakes and can quickly change the fight with a single clean, well-timed shot.
Shakur Stevenson. Shakur might have better defense, but at the end of the day, I still think we haven't seen the best Tank Davis. That's what people always power. We still haven't seen the best Tank Davis. And Shakur, for the most part, he comes forward. Mm-hmm. Tank Davis, all he takes is one shot. Mm-hmm. He's a very patient fighter. He doesn't throw a lot of shots, but every shot he throws, he makes them count.
On the other hand, Ryan Garcia has shown interest in a rematch with Gervonta Davis, but said Davis first needs to return to active competition. He added that, as a world champion, he now has the status where big fights must happen on his terms, and he is comfortable moving ahead with his career whether that rematch takes place or not.
Fight again. I would love to. I think he needs to clean some of his act up and get back in the sport. We all want to see him back, including myself, so I can run it back with him. But I don't think we're going to fight for a long time. He won't go up to 147 either. A lot of these guys, they want me to take the risk and go lower all the time, but they won't do it. Sounds a little to me, especially in the fact that I can't always be willing to take the extra step to make the fight happen. I've done that year in, year out. And now that I'm a world champion, you're going to have to come to me now. And if you don't want to, I don't really need you anyway. So what does it matter? The thing about Tank, before, he thought that people really need him.
Ryan Garcia has predicted that he would knock out Gervonta Davis if they face each other, saying it would be his moment to take full control and deliver a statement win. He downplayed Davis as a limited danger in the matchup and made it clear that he is fully confident he would win in a decisive and dominant way.
I'm going to knock out Gervonta Davis. I promise you. Hear my words. This is my moment. This is my time. He will not beat me. There's nothing terrifying about this guy. I'm going to beat him so easy. He's going to be like, ooh, sprinkle. Boom.
On the other side, Gervonta Davis has also expressed interest in a rematch with Ryan Garcia, saying he is ready to fight him again whenever the opportunity comes.
Hopefully I fight Ryan again. If they're not on some host, I text again. Tell them boys to give me 150 M's. I'm coming. You know what I mean? When I start streaming out that, start talking that, stop it.
Stephen A. Smith said a fight between Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis would be very explosive and likely end before the final bell. He pointed out Garcia's fast hands as a major advantage, but also warned that exchanging punches with Davis is extremely risky because of his knockout power, meaning either fighter could realistically finish the bout with one big shot.
Two hardest ones for me, man. I don't think Garcia and Tank Davis are going the distance. Somebody get knocked out.
When you say somebody, who? Anybody? What are you saying?
I'm gonna go with Tank Davis. Here's what I'm believing. If Ryan Garcia, with his quickness and his length, stays away, he can do some things. But I think because of all the chirping, he gonna find himself in a situation where he gonna engage with Gervonta Davis. That is a mistake. That is a mistake. You engage with Gervonta Davis, he taking you out. That is what I believe. But be clear, Ryan Garcia is lightning quick, with power, and Gervonta is one of those dudes he don't mind taking just so he can give.
Meanwhile, Oscar de la Hoya talked about Ryan Garcia's condition, saying he looked exhausted and even compared it to his own experience fighting Manny Pacquiao. He suggested Garcia was drained going into the bout and not competing at his ideal weight, which affected his performance. De La Hoya also stated that against Gervonta Davis, who he called a dominant fighter, he sees almost no realistic chance of Garcia winning.
I felt so bad for Ryan because he was up.
Yeah.
He was a dead man. He reminded me of me when I fought Pacquiao. Okay. And then when the next day you can't weigh a certain amount.
Probably couldn't get over 140.
There's no chance he's gonna win against Tank, who's a beast. It's no chance.
Adding to his comments, Oscar De La Hoya questioned whether Ryan Garcia could defeat Gervonta Davis without the rehydration clause, saying he was not fully confident. He praised Davis for his high-level skill and his ability to break opponents down as a fight progresses. De La Hoya also highlighted Davis's aggressive approach, saying his willingness to engage, take risks, and trade punches is what makes him an exciting fighter and one of boxing's biggest stars.
Tank, if he doesn't have the rehydration clause, I don't know. I just do not know, because Tank, like I said, is very skillful. He's a beast. He knows how to figure you out. But one thing about Tank, which I love, and this is why he's going to be great, because he fights. And when you fight, you're going to get hit. And when you fight, you're going to get hit and you might get knocked out. But that's the beauty about Tank.
That's why they love him.
Fights, and that's why they love him. That's a perfect example. Tank Davis is a star.
Joe Rogan described Ryan Garcia as a very dangerous fighter when he is fully fit, saying his pace and timing make him difficult to handle. He pointed out Garcia's fast combinations and sharp movement in training, adding that his hand speed is clearly noticeable even on video. Rogan also highlighted Garcia's left hook as extremely quick, comparing its speed and timing to some of the most explosive punchers in boxing history.
He's going to be a problem
for
bro.
everybody.
He's going to be a problem, bro.
Speed is bananas.
Yeah.
You ever see him shadow box, like throw combinations?
Oh, yeah,
there?
bro.
Like,
oh, yeah.
Is this sped up?
Oh,
How
yeah.
are you so fast?
Yeah. It's not fair.
He might have one of the fastest left hooks I've ever seen.
For sure.
I mean, it's right up there with everybody, all the great left hookers of the past.
But the crazy thing is, like, bro, he don't even bring it out. He just goes from right here.
Right.
In contrast, Roy Jones Jr. explained that Gervonta Davis has shaped his career by choosing fights carefully, avoiding unnecessary risks while getting the most benefit from each opportunity. He added that since this approach has worked well so far, it makes sense for Davis to continue managing his career in the same smart and calculated way moving forward.
Lamont Roach situation wasn't a thing anymore, and it was just Jake Paul. And I don't know if it's because the Anthony Joshua, Jake Paul situation fell out. Jake doubled back and was like, nah, I need a dance partner. We got to get this now or it's not going to be available. Here's my take. Here's my take on Davis. I don't remember the last time that I've heard Gervonta Davis say, I'm in boxing to be the greatest fighter of all time. I can't remember. I've heard him say that he's better than certain guys in his weight class, or this kid can't beat me. I've heard that. I can't remember, and maybe y'all can keep me honest online. The last time I've heard Gervonta Davis talk about his legacy in the ring. Like I'm building my legacy. I'm trying to outdo Floyd in legacy.
At the end of the day, fans are still waiting for a showdown that feels almost certain to happen, bringing together two elite fighters with very different styles, where everything would be on the line in one ring. It's the kind of matchup defined by skill, power, timing, and pride, where any single moment could completely shift the fight. If it ever becomes reality, it has all the ingredients to be a true modern classic.